Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Victoria Valentine Fireflies, and I am what I meant by with the videos with Mr. Luke Smith is I'm looking for a place where I can sleep in the woods, where I have my own privacy, meaning the kind of woods I prefer living in is in the wilderness. So I want to be isolated in a remote area, far away from the city, the country. It's like the no man's land. Yeah. And it's like a ghost town, but still, I like peace and quiet. I like to be with nature, but I don't like to be with snakes, bears, fox, wolves, anything that's vicious that will eat me up or kill me or whatever. Nothing dangerous, but I just want to be isolated away from everybody. I don't like city life. I don't want to live in the subdivision, in the neighborhood where HOAs, no rules and regulation, no laws. It's just Tennessee, either out in the wilderness in Tennessee. I'll move there for 1 year, and then I'll move up to Alaska for the rest of the time. But I need my own privacy, I need my own space, and I need my own land. And like I say, I'm poor, broke, and homeless, but I don't pay rent, I don't pay anything. But the cheapest land, when I say I want cheapest land, is meaning $200 for a huge acre. I like to be like having at least 5 acres to myself. That's to start out, but how much is 5 acres? You see, it'd be nice to have a 5 acre out in the wilderness for $200, but I just I prefer if anybody who is willing to donate me a piece of land out in the wilderness in Tennessee for 1 year to live, to see how the lifestyle is out in the wilderness. And then I'm going to move to Alaska after that. But I was planning to move where the Yukon River is, but I changed my mind. Now I want to move out in the wilderness in Alaska, but where there's spring water, the Alpines. That's where I really want. The Alpines where there's salmons. I love to, eat salmon, but I've never eaten those kind of red salmon before. I only eat the, farms raised salmon. So it's going to be a big difference, but let's see how it goes. If anybody's willing to, if the state of Alaska is willing to donate me a piece of land in Alaska, out in the wilderness, in the Alpines, that's where I want to be. Where's that place called? The Salmon River or something. So, oh yeah, it's called the Salmon Forest, I think, or Salmon River, or the Salmon Forest, or let me see, where is it? Copper River, Alaska Salmon Country, or Alaska Adams River, where there's salmons. As long as there's salmons, lots of salmons, I can be on the river and build a cabin, live off grid, and but away from the bears. So I need to live where, it's like peace and quiet. No neighbors around me for 5 miles, or 5 acres. I don't want to see nobody around me for, so I can sleep. They make too much noise. I don't make noise at all. So I like a peace and quiet. I want to sleep. I want to catch up on my sleep, my rest, and, just listen to the birds chirping, or, the river flowing, so waterfalls. I just want peace and quiet. I hear enough of the crows or the birds chirping right now, but that's my wake-up call. But I don't want to live in the city limits. I want to live out in the wilderness. So I don't know, is that considered country or wilderness? So like I said, my name is Victoria Valentine Fireflies, and if anyone is willing to donate a piece of property in Alaska, in the wilderness, and also in Tennessee. So I'm going to move up to Tennessee first, and then I'm going to move to the wilderness. So I love to go camping, and I love to live off grid and be self-sufficient, independent, and like I said, I don't have anyone, I don't know anyone, and I don't have no families, no relatives, no in-laws. I'm not married. I'm still living my single life. So sorry I don't have my makeup on, my hair done. I'm breaking out. My skin is breaking out because I just got over my time of the month, so my skin is always breaking out. But I like to explore, so I like to grow food. I like to homestead, and I like to build my own home. I don't need or want nobody to help me build my own home, but I can build it myself. And I just need some donation or whatever I can use to build it. But I prefer no buildings permit if I live in the wilderness. And whoever knows what the law is in Alaska, do I need a permit to build a home or a cabin out in the wilderness, living off grid? And do I need to have a permit building a home or cabin in Tennessee, out in the wilderness, off grid? So no zoning. I prefer no zoning, no restriction, no deed restriction, no rules and regulation, and no nobody to tell me what I can do and what I can't do, and nobody can tell me to do this and do that, so let me know what the law is in Tennessee, and let me know what the law is in Arkansas. I did some research. They said that the Act of 1976 or something about homesteading, they don't allow homesteading anymore in Alaska, but what is the new law right now? So if anybody knows or has any information about moving to Tennessee and Alaska, and what, what can I do? And as long as there's no rules and regulation, freedom. All I want is freedom, my own privacy, privilege, space, and, my own private property, for big private property, and free land. I want free land out in the wilderness in Tennessee and Alaska, in the alpines. As long as it's crystal clear water, or like a river, and I can take a shower every day or a bath every day, I'm happy. As long as I can build a home right on the river, in front of the river, so I can have close access to water, I'll be happy. So as long as I can grow whatever and have chickens, ducks, rooster, pigs, cows, so I can do whatever I want out in the wilderness. Living off grid, living on solar energy, and wintertime, I'll be using firewoods, and summertime for light source is 14 hours of sunlight, which they say in Alaska you don't get that kind of sunlight, but some kind of sunlight is free energy, is free electricity or power for indoors. As long as I can have windows, build windows in my cabin or home, in my house, then I can have free sunlight. That's free electricity. So it'll keep my house warm. It'll brighten my house. But I don't like my house being that bright because I want to sleep. I don't want home invasion, intruders, bears breaking into my home, snakes or rats entering my home. So that's why I don't want to have that much open space. But at least I would have an open space where, well, my home will never be burnt down because I don't want no electricity in my house. You know, I would use gas propane, or I would have a chimney for firewoods. I don't want no animals crawling through my chimney, but I can, or birds flying into my chimney, or rats coming through my chimney, but I would have something to cover up my chimney when it's not in use, so nothing can crawl in, and no home burglary or robber can crawl into my chimney and Santa Claus. So if Santa Claus is coming, then knock on my door, but ring my doorbell, but don't climb in my chimney. I don't want nothing stuck in my chimney like raccoons, uninvited guests, or home invasion or whatever. No ghosts or demons on my property. So I just want peace. I don't want nobody preaching to me. I don't want nobody lecturing me. I don't want or need nobody telling me what to do. Just leave me alone. Just me and my boyfriends. So, good boyfriends, not bad boyfriends. Me and my husband. I don't want to be married to no crazy females. I don't want no females over my property. And the closest a female can get to my property is my mail lady or my mailman, who I trust, letting know where I live. But otherwise, I don't want no Asian people to know where I live, be on my private property, and, you know, I don't trust nobody. I don't know anyone, and, you know, I want at least a door or a window so that I can escape just in case of lightning burning, striking a tree near my house, and then it burns on my property. Yeah, but I need, you know, I want to build at least a 2-story home all by myself. At least I can have places upstairs to store my my stuff and clothes, and downstairs would be my kitchen. Oh, excuse me. And I can grow food, and I can grow whatever, and have my chickens running around. But I'm poor, broke, and homeless, so who would want to be with a poor, broke, homeless girl like me? I'm ugly. They all call me ugly, so why should I have to invite them to my private property for? My home for? They're not welcome. Sunny, the Korean lady, Miss Kim, these Vietnamese people, Tu Van Tran, Han Thi Lei, Brittany Tran, Cheyenne Tran, they all call me ugly, so they're not welcome or invited into my home on my private property. Stop stalking me. Do not follow me everywhere I go or anywhere I go. You have no rights to be on my private property or on my property or in my home. And you're not entitled to nothing on my will or living will or when I die. You need to stop harassing me, stop stalking me, and stop bothering me, and stop bugging me. Do not follow me anywhere. My will will go to my next born child. Not my first, but my second. That is, if the father is good to me. And if the father is not good to me, then my will be changed and nothing will go to my second child, but to my third child. So it just depends. Let's see who's that lucky baby's daddies. So my baby daddy, my husband will not be Korean. My husband will not be black. My husband would not be Mexican. My husband would not be Chinese. My husband would not be Vietnamese. So my husband would not be Indian. My baby will not be Indian, Chinese, Korean, black, Samoan. My husband or boyfriend is not Samoan, not Hawaiian, not Guam. So I love my men white. So my baby's daddy is going to be white, but none of my children is hillbillies. None of my boyfriend, dates, fiance, grooms, husband is hillbillies, coon-ass, or rednecks. I'm not a redneck, coon-ass, or hillbillies. I'm just a southern country farm girl. I just love working from home. I just love raising animal. I wanted to be a doctor when I was little, but the type of doctor I want to be when I grow up was to pull out bullet wounds, to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. So I study in bones, fixing bones, fracture, putting Humpty Dumpty, the clients or the patient, back together again, like Humpty Dumpty. Because when everybody's dead, nobody knows how to fix anything. And putting a client or a patient's bone together is like putting a puzzle together. Since I was a little girl, when nobody see me, know where I was, what I'm doing, I was sitting at home putting puzzles together, over 1,000 pieces of puzzles, small puzzle, putting it together. And it's like putting broken bones together, piece by piece. It's when everybody's dead, everybody's going into amnesia, Alzheimer, disability. They can't work, they can't do anything, nobody's working. So if I know how, I would. So putting a human bones together is like putting Humpty Dumpty back together again, or putting a puzzle together. So then I changed my mind, because I don't like to see nobody hurt, but people are very negative and rude and disrespectful and mean and cruel to me. So as you can see, let me show you. I'm making pork belly. So I should pull this out already. And then I am making what they call mahan, oil and seasoned beef, seasoned chicken bouillon in it, and green scallion. And all I have to do is smother it over these razor clam I baked the razor clam, so I should have steamed it. It would taste better steaming, but I still have some left where I can steam it too. So, because baking it is going to dry it up, so this is going on. Eating good in the neighborhood cost me $15 just for this much, so let me experiment trying it. So just a little hard but chewy. Next time I'm gonna steam it, but still good. Let's check on my chocolate chip cookies. I had to move it so I can get more heat, but it's flattening down a little bit. So we'll leave it out for a little longer. See how it is right here? So it's working a little bit.